AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a transfer move to Arsenal.
Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that be linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Big up to Scout Size. The link is in the description. If you want to get involved, use the code SE50, as I tell you each and every day. 1 week to go now until Arsenal go on their pre-season tour of Singapore, on Hong Kong, where they're going to be taking on AC Milan, Newcastle and Spurs in Hong Kong. They're 3 tough games. 3 games that, you know, they're not going to be your easy friendlies, but that's what Arsenal have tended to do over the last few seasons. Will Victor Gyokeres be on that plane for that trip over to Asia? We know that Mikel Arteta wants to get him there for a pre-season with Arsenal, but we still have serious issues over getting this deal over the line. The phony war is on, as I would say, especially when you saw some of the comments yesterday from the Sporting president following Victor Gyokeres' decision to effectively go on strike. He refused to turn up to training yesterday. He said he was going to do it. He carried it out, did not turn up for training. If you don't turn up for training, you can get big fines. You can even get fired by your team. They're not going to fire him because obviously they're trying to make money from him. And the phony war is definitely begun. And these were some of the words from the Sporting president yesterday, Federico Varandas. He said, and these are his quotes, he says, if they don't want to pay Victor's fair market value, we're very comfortable with that for the next 3 years. This strategy is also making it more complicated for the player to leave. Nobody is above the interests of the club, whoever they are. We're calm. Everything will be resolved with the market closing, a hefty fine and an apology to the group. He also said, if the geniuses who devised this strategy think it will pressure me to facilitate his departure, they are not only mistaken, but also making things more complicated for the player. No one is above the club's interests. If they're not willing to pay the fair market value, he says that again, we are perfectly comfortable with him staying with us for another 3 years. It's war. It's a big phony war that's going on, because the reality of it is that you've got, I won't even say 2 sides, you've got 3 sides literally here. You got Victor Gyokeres, who feels very hard done by Sporting, feels that he had a gentleman's agreement to leave for a certain price that Sporting have gone back on, and he's very angry and he's refusing to train or do anything to do with Sporting. He's effectively said, I'm gone, I'm leaving, no matter what. You've got Arsenal, who, you know, there were reports that Arsenal bid £60 million for Victor Gyokeres. Fabrizio Romano is reporting that actually it was £65 million that there was bid. Remember, the original fees for what we were being told, with all the add-ons and everything, was going to be about 60. He's saying that they bid £65 million, but they're now being told that figure is way higher by the Sporting president, right? So they're not wanting to budge off of their price. Then you've got the Sporting president, as I said, Federico Varandas, who his side of it is, and I said he's quoted a couple of times as saying the fair market value. He's looking at what other players have gone for, and he's saying, no, my player's valued, like, I think he's worth about 80 million, right? And let's start negotiating from there downwards. And listen, it's a phony war that's going on here. Gyokeres is not going to change his mind and go back and play for Sporting. There's too much bad blood there. Sporting know that they're going to have to sell the player, but they're trying to get the absolute maximum that they can get for him. They're not going to keep him for another 3 years. How are you going to keep a player that disgruntled? You're not going to do that. They know that Arsenal are desperate to get a striker deal done. They would have seen all the, you think the president wouldn't have seen even all the fuss over Madueke and stuff like that. And a lot of that's been to do with timing, the fact that we haven't got the striker in yet. He knows we're desperate for the striker. He knows that, by doing this, it's going to, get Arsenal fans and get people sort of saying to Arsenal, just get it done, hoping that they'll pay the maximum. And Arsenal probably know that they're going to have to pay a bit more than what the fee is at the moment. I mean, the journalist Henry Winter today, he tweeted out, a respected journalist, let me get his quotes. Basically what he's saying is that Arsenal have virtually agreed a fee with Sporting for Victor Gyokeres. They're just debating the add-ons and the agent commission involved in the deal. There's obviously a fallout with the agent as well. It's messy. It's a phony war. Just get it done. All sides, just sit down, sort it out, get it done. Sporting, he's done brilliant for your club. Give him a decent deal so he can go to Arsenal. Arsenal, pay that little bit extra, and let's just get this deal done as quickly as possible so that the player can start playing for Arsenal. He did an interview with L'Equipe yesterday, and he was talking about how he wants to become one of the best strikers around. He really thinks he's up there, but playing at Arsenal, he thinks would be the real test. I mean, let's just get it done, people. It's getting, for me personally, every day in, day out, it's getting a bit annoying now. Get it done, right? Let's see if this deal can get completed by time this week is out and that pre-season tour is on. But, lots of testosterone around in the room at the moment. Everybody's playing hardball, but nothing's moving. Get it done. Better news, good news, should I say, on Nwaneri. Fabrizio Romano yesterday saying that Arsenal have made big progress in recent days on getting his new deal sorted out. Arsenal have been very hopeful of getting this sorted and are hopeful that a new deal will be sorted out. Another one, please get this done. This kid is one of Arsenal's most talented players to come out of the academy in recent years. Remember, still 17, an absolute brilliant player. If we don't get this done, there'll be teams, and I'm saying top teams, all over Europe who will try and, grab him up. I thought he'd done brilliantly when he came in last year. When you think of his age and the responsibility that he took upon himself, and he came in, he'd done brilliantly. I'm not sure where, if we were to get some of the signings that were being talked about, exactly where he's going to play, because I thought he did brilliantly on the right-hand side. But listen, whether it's right-hand side, middle of the park, even in goal, just get this one done as well. Nwaneri is an unbelievable player, an unbelievable prospect, and Arsenal must get this sorted. We want him playing for Arsenal. He's a fan favourite, and I think he's one of the most talented young players in English football. So let's hope that these rumours are true and that this deal does get done as quickly as possible, because, again, for me, it's like a new signing when you tie down a player of this quality to a long-term contract, and he deserves it. He proved himself last year, so let's get it done. Another deal that needs to be done is a deal for Christian Mosquera. Now, we know that Arsenal have been heavily linked with the centre-back from Valencia. Again, lots of hardball being played on this. Arsenal made an offer around about 14 million. Valencia are looking for around about 20 million. He's actually returned to training, unlike Victor Gyokeres. He was given extra time off, actually, because he played for Spain in the under-21s. But he's now returned back to training. He has, however, turned down a new offer that was offered to him by Valencia. So it must be pretty awkward for him going back to training right now. Again, is this a deal that can get completed before pre-season takes place, which that kicks off next weekend? They'll probably be flying out next week, Saturday, to the Far East. Let's hope they can get this deal done for Christian Mosquera to come in at Arsenal. But one to watch this week, that one. Of course, Noni Madueke is set to become an Arsenal player this week. It's been well documented what's been going on around Noni Madueke over the last few days. And as I said on yesterday's show and the show before, time to get behind this deal. Whether you was for it or against it, he's going to be an Arsenal player. Once that shirt comes on, he's one of us. We have to get behind him. We want him to succeed. We want him to be successful. Rio Ferdinand actually yesterday wading into the whole debate around, his sign-in, saying that, he thought the actions of some of a section of Arsenal fans have been disgraceful. He cited the fans that did a petition against this sign-in. The fan that painted it, listen, everybody knows that that fan that painted that stuff outside the ground, that's so out of order. Listen, Rio, I would say, though, fans are entitled to have their opinion, right? Not going too far like what that fan did, painting that stuff outside the stadium. But I do think, listen, if you're a fan and your opinion is you don't really want a certain player to sign for your club because of this reason and that reason, you're allowed to say it. Just like Rio would say it, just like anybody would say it. As long as you're respectful in what you're saying. But what I would say is once the player is coming, got to get behind him. And I now really, really want to see Noni Madueke succeed. And I actually got a feeling he might. I've been just sort of, as I said, going back over it and just looking at it and thinking, he's got all the attributes to succeed at Arsenal. I also feel that a player like Noni Madueke coming into the culture that's been created at Arsenal, it's going to benefit him. It's going to benefit him to be around Saka, to be around... and listen, I'm not saying that it was a complete undisciplined system at Chelsea, but I just think him being around players like Saka, players like Gabriel, Declan Rice, these sort of players, that culture that they've created at Arsenal, I think is going to really, really help Noni Madueke, really, really help his focus. I think he'll be a better player than what he's been at Chelsea. So I'm excited now to see what he does. I'm actually going to be really excited to see him on pre-season to see what he does. So listen, he's our player now. He's coming in this week. We'll be doing his medical. Will be unveiled. And good luck to him. Let's hope this guy succeeds at Arsenal. Now, on yesterday's show, I did a poll. I said if you can choose only one of these two players to sign for Arsenal, vote for that player. Choose Eze or choose Rodrigo. And I left that vote open to you. This vote surprised me again. 87% of you voted for Eberechi Eze. Only 13% for Rodrigo. I thought Eze would win the poll, but that gap is huge. That shows how much you guys would love to see Eberechi Eze come in at Arsenal. 87% Eze, 13% Rodrigo, and thousands of you voted. There's rumours that there's been talks are set to begin with Eze. I personally would love to see this signing. I think, the whole story of him leaving Arsenal, how he did, he's going to be a guy with a point to prove. And listen, he's been proving it for years at Palace, at how good he is. I'd love to see Eze come in at Arsenal. And Rodrigo, could that still happen? He was asked by a fan on Friday when he was sort of out sightseeing in New York. Of course, they're out of the Club World Cup now. The fan asked him, are you joining Arsenal? He didn't answer. He just posed for pictures and that. But going to be interesting to see what happens with him as well between now and the end of the transfer window. But remember, 87% of you would love to see Eze at Arsenal. Let's hope they go with a popular opinion this time, right? Bring Eze in. But listen, right, Andrea Berta, he don't listen to no polls. He decide what he wants. And we got to back that too. So let's see what happens. Thanks for watching the show today. I'll be back tomorrow with more transfer rumours. And don't forget, should I say, if any rumours break throughout the day, we'll have it for you here first on AFTV. Thank you.